Thank you for joining us today for another episode of Sports Talk and the Success Table. Today we have Super Bowl champion Michael BOLEY on with us today, talking his NFL journey and how it felt to be a Super Bowl champion. All this and more up next. But before that, subscribe to our channel. We thank you for your support in advance. Here's the interview. How did you get involved with football as a child, man?
Um, Man, I was pretty much my brother. I mean, my brother was a year older than me, and the little area we were in, he started playing obviously a year before I did, and so I used to go. Stop. Daddy's on the phone. Sorry. um, he. So I mean, naturally, I would go and pretty much just having to watch, and
Definitely, man.
I kind of. I obviously because he played, I kind of wanted to do everything he did, and that kind of ended with it was funny because I would always go out with they used to have to run sprints after practice,
Definitely.
and I'd line up 5-10 yards in front of everybody and just kind of be on the side and just kind of outrun everybody when they start. And so the coach told me, he was like, if I can line up with everybody on the line and outrun everybody, he'll let me play. Hey, I got up there.
Did you ever win?
I ran as hard as I could, and he let me play, so that's how I started.
What position did you start out playing?
Oh man, growing up, I think. Well, being that young, I played like running back.
Yes, sir. How many scores did you tally?
Oh man, I don't even know. Yeah, I mean, playing the little league that we was in, we're country town. At first, it wasn't many of us, and then we just kind of end up, wow. Now that I think about it, back then we kind of ran a wing tee offense.
Yes, sir.
So both me and my brother played in the backfield. So
hey, 1-2 punch, man.
Oh yeah, it was fun.
That's how it goes. So how was that transition from high school to Southern Miss for you? Was the recruiting process difficult?
Yeah, it was. Well, no, not really. I didn't really get a lot of offers out of high school.
Yes,
so
sir.
Let me see. I think I pretty much I had the offer from Southern Miss, and then I had an offer from Alabama A&M, and Alabama A&M was kind of close to home, which I kind of really, at that time I really wanted to get away from home.
For sure.
So it's pretty easy. It's funny. A cousin on my dad's side actually recruited me. He was a defensive back coach at Southern Miss at the time, and his younger brother, we were actually closer in age. He was Derek Nix. He was a running back at Southern Miss, and so that's pretty much how I got recruited. Stop!
I hear you, man. Stop. So coming out of the draft, man, did it put a chip on your shoulder going so late in the draft, or have you always been motivated to do great things in the NFL?
Nah, it definitely put a chip on my shoulder because, coming out, I thought I'd played well enough in college to obviously, to get drafted before the 5th round. And so, I felt like I had a good combine workout. And then, at the time, man, watching the draft and seeing some of the linebackers that went before me, I was like, come on, man, like, and that was, I mean, obviously, if you don't think high yourself, who is? Definitely. But I felt like just my collegiate career spoke for itself, especially above some of the guys that went before me. And so it kind of,
Definitely. I understand, man.
Definitely had that chip on my shoulder coming out. So.
For sure. So the first year, putting those pads on, were you nervous?
In the NFL?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I was nervous. It was more so just like I guess my first experience was more like a wow experience.
Yes, sir.
Actually, putting pads on, and at the time, Vic was that guy.
Definitely,
If
man.
you think of, especially, thinking of the Falcons, and you think of just football in general, he was just on the cover of like Madden '04 a couple years before.
Yeah.
And so, all through college, if guys play Madden, that's who they wanted to play with. So actually being on the field, like, wow, like actually, putting on pads and like getting on the field was like, wow, like, man, I used to play the game with these guys,
I hear you, man. So how was his personality in the locker room?
Vic was cool, man. He was real cool. He was real laid back. So that was good. You wouldn't, it's different to think, like, you wonder like how's this guy gonna be like just as a person.
Definitely, man. So to that point in your career, who had the most impact on you as a player and a person, like coaching wise and player wise?
Like throughout college and stuff.
Yes, sir.
Uh, coming out of high school, like my biggest impact was my brother. Like I said, he was the reason I got into football, and obviously, I fell in love with it. So, him being a year ahead of me, he went to a military out of school, and so at the time of me going to school, he ended up, I think, going into my second year of college. He got deployed to Afghanistan, and so for me, it was kind of, I'm doing this for him.
Definitely,
And
man.
coaching wise, stop. My linebacker coach, it was Latrell Pollard down at Southern Miss. He wasn't too much older than me. Like, he had just graduated from Southern in '97, and I got there in 2000. So he was pretty much still a young coach.
Yes, sir.
And so when I first got there, we had a lot of one-on-one time, like in our meetings. So he was able to not just talk to me about football, but just as far as like what to expect in college and how to deal with certain things. And so that helped me just transition a lot. And because when I first got to Southern Miss, I had never played linebacker before. And so in our meetings, it was a lot of, how to deal with that, because I almost left. I was ready to go. I was ready to pack my stuff and go home when they moved to linebacker. So that was he was definitely a big help for me.
Definitely, man. Later on in your career, it must have been very rewarding to get a Super Bowl with the Giants. How was
Oh
that
yeah.
feeling going off the field, last game of the year as a Super Bowl champion? How was that?
It was. I mean, it's no better feeling. I mean, if you just knowing the history of football, there's guys who have played, so many years. Like look at Tony Gonzalez. What, 18, 19 years?
Definitely.
Didn't get a ring. Like it's hard to come by. Like the Pro Bowls. Obviously, if you're a great player, like the Pro Bowls, those come easy to some guys. Because they're just doing what they do. They're just ballers.
Definitely.
But winning a ring, I just feel like that's the upper echelon. That's the highest prize you can get.
Definitely, man. Hey, it must have felt pretty nice to beat the Patriots, and I'm a Patriot fan, so
Yeah.
hey, I was watching the game very closely, and you guys performed on the biggest stage of them all, so you guys deserved it. So between the '07 team and the 2010 team, how did those teams fluctuate to beat the Patriots? If you watched them very closely in the '07 season, I know you were among
we pretty much tried to do the same thing that they had did back then, was put pressure on Tom Brady, kind of get him off his sweet spot. And both those years, we had a couple pieces obviously that was missing from '07 to 2011 team. It was just so it was crazy. I tell people all the time, like, I've never seen just from top to bottom, like, a better defensive line. Like, even when it came just from our starters all the way to our backups, we were able to just put guys in there and they were all able to get pressure. And so that was what helped us on the defensive side of the ball. And obviously, when it comes to, obviously the offense, you got the
Or Eli,
I
man.
wasn't on the 17, but the catch with Tyree, that was
Yeah.
big. And then the year I was there, the Manningham catch on the sideline definitely helped us out.
What was going through your mind when that happened, man?
Oh man, when he threw the ball, it's like my heart dropped. Like, oh man, like when I first had it, I'm thinking, all right, either the ball's going out of bounds, or it's gonna be a pass breakup. And so when he caught it, and like, just I don't know, it's just like I felt something. It's like the way he caught it. And then I'm saying to my mom, like, it's a catch. I'm like, I don't even have to see the replay. Like, they challenged it. I didn't even want to look up. I'm just like, it's a catch. I'm like, it's got to be a catch.
Definitely, man. So among the defense of the 2010/11 team, who were the leaders on that defense, man?
Oh man, it was kind of, it was pretty much. I felt like it was kind of a leadership by committee. Tuck was our captain, but he was only a piece of the puzzle. Like, we had guys like I'd say a big one for us would be Deion Grant. So he was the old head of the bunch, pretty much. But Deion was one of those guys that when he spoke, everybody listened, coaches, players included, and it was rare to see that, actually have a player who, if he has something to say to the team, like even coaches, stop what they're doing, because they want to listen.
Definitely, man.
But like, him, Antrero, OC, myself throwing the mix. Like I said, it was just a leadership by committee. No one had no one pretty much wanted to say, what, I'm the leader. This is what I do. So.
Definitely, man.
This concludes episode 12 with Michael BOLEY. Thank you for watching this and viewing it. Don't forget to subscribe for new episodes and new content. We thank you in advance.